What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Tuesday Night Hi-Fi. And you might be saying to yourself, what is going on? What is happening here? What is the dealio? Because I think you're only seeing one person on the screen right now. And I know this is probably upsetting to you, but it's just me tonight. Mike is taking a hiatus for a while. So I'm going to be picking this up, and it's a little flat-footed tonight, but I think we can figure this stuff out as we look and see what the future is going to hold for the wonderful Hi-Fi Tonight show. Yeah, Mad Prada, no Mike. He's taking a hiatus for whatever reason. So welcome, MP Mad Piranha. Glad to have you up in the house. And I don't. If you guys don't know Mad Piranha, I love him because him and we have some drag out arguments about stuff. And because we have super distinct points of view on things. But the great part is, we can have those arguments and then come back and still have a good time. So I really appreciate that about you, dude. And I don't think I've ever told you that before, but I do appreciate that. Man, double A. I appreciate that. Usually, I just think of like is from the waist up of me is the best half. But if you're feeling that, I'm good with that. Hulk Cinema up in the house. And tonight, folks, if anybody wants to come on the show, I'm talking about you. I'll send you an invite, and we can bring people on and just be absolutely crazy up in this place because, I got that power. I can do that now. I can do whatever I want to. What's up with that? I mean, it's crazy. But I thought we might start out a little bit tonight and talk about what's up, Peacock. And see, this is another guy I want to get on the show. If you guys don't know Joey, he represents a wonderful set of brands from Indie Audio Labs, and he's one of my favorite people. He might not know it yet, but he is. And if I can ever get him on the show, on the screen, so we can talk about this Act 4 and some of these other things that I love so much, I would love that too. So, Joey, right now, Decibel Destroyer, welcome back to the show. Glad to see you in the audience tonight, along with Kevin, Mr. Hi-Fi Haven. When you've got Hi-Fi in the name, it's about as good as it gets. And we have Facebook user, what's up? I don't know who you are, Facebook user. It's a mystery, but hey, let me know if my sound is coming in nice and good. I wasn't able to do an audio check before I got this thing going tonight, so I am flying blind. I mean, I feel like I look pretty good. I mean, how am I looking? Pretty good? Yeah, I'm looking pretty good. But hopefully I'm sounding pretty good as well. Now, what I wanted to talk about was content. And, we've had Content Corner on here where we talk about the different things that we've been watching. We will give us no politics on this show, so no comment. But I want to talk a little bit about content, and I'm really interested to know what people think about this whole HBO Max thing. And I know this has been beaten to the like a dead horse a little bit. For MP, let me see. Hang on. That's all I got. But the question is, how do you feel about movies premiering the same day via streaming as they come out in the theater? And I was a little conflicted, I guess, when I first heard about it because, I hadn't given it a lot of thought. And while I'm a huge home theater person, and I prefer to watch everything at home, it just hadn't occurred to me that, well, maybe I can just watch everything at home and I don't ever have to worry about going to the movies again. But realistically, if things would come out on the same day or even within the same week, for me, man, I think that decides it. I think I'm just doing everything from home because, I have a really great experience at home and I can have all the popcorn I want and it doesn't cost me $87, and I can pause and go to the bathroom and when my kids want to go to the bathroom, all that stuff. So I think it's really good. Now, is the quality going to be there though? And that's a different thing. I think most people wait till the disc comes out to watch stuff at home because that's the best quality that you can get. Kaleidoscape also is a really good option because it's as good as the disc as well, just depending on what they can get from the studio. But streaming, a lot of people, if you don't have really good internet, it could be a challenge. So I guess there's that part. Now, I have pretty good down speeds here. So I think whatever quality can come from streaming, I can do that, and it's okay, but it's not quite as good as having the full disc. Now, maybe it'd be cool if they did disc, movie, and streaming all on the same day. I don't know. I would be down with that. And I can tell you what, though, if I could get a movie from Kaleidoscape same day, those guys would get all my money. I mean, all of it. Let's see. Let's look at these comments. 87.50. That last 50 cents gets you. If it was only 87.50 or $87, you're right, I would be okay. But at the end there, that does push it over. But I agree with you, MP. The better it gets, the less I care about it. And you know what? We're going to talk a little bit, and I'm glad that Joey's here because I want to talk particularly about the Act 4 and some other stuff that I've been doing in my theater that is just outstanding. And we'll go over that stuff in just a minute. Let's see. What's up, Noid? I don't know how to say your last name. Radavilas. I think I'm getting it right. Radavilas. That's an awesome name. That's cool. What is that an image of you got there? Some headphones? Yeah, that's headphones on a stand. Very cool. Joey says there's something about a Dolby Cinema screen with dual Christies and 64 speakers. There is something for that, and maybe for the tentpole kind of movies that would be something. But I would put my home theater up against like a normal cinema, just like your low end kind of commercial cinema. I think I could go toe to toe for experience there. Now, when you're talking about the full blown Atmos, you're right. There's a good experience there, but man, the hassle, is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe. Double A says, indeed, Dolby Cinema is amazing. And it is my favorite. I like that better than IMAX. Do you guys remember when IMAX came out, like yesteryear IMAX, like the old school? And if you remember, the Spectrum and Irvine had like the 10-story tall screen, and the seats, it looked like the amphitheater from the Star Wars movies of the Senate with all the seats coming out. It was like super big. Yeah. So that's kind of an interesting experience, but I haven't seen one of those in a while. I mean, that's crazy. HiFi Haven says he's got pretty good speeds and enjoys the home thing. Yeah, I'm down with that. I am a pretty big homebody. But getting back to the HBO Max, and Joey, he brings up some good points. There are some really good movies that are coming out date on HBO Max. The same as the theater. And for me, Dune is at the top, but I think that one's like in October or December or something of 21. So I'm super sad. That was supposed to come out last year, and I was going to go watch that in the theater because I really want to see that one. But I'll be absolutely streaming it day one on HBO Max because I love Dune. I've seen it all. I love it. I even like the freaking movie that everybody else hates, with the weird weirding way, and they do the gun and the voice thing that's not in the books at all. If you haven't read the book, you should read the book. But I'm really looking forward to the new one. Now, let's talk a little bit about projects and equipment. So I have a brand spanking new Act 4 from Accurus, which is the same company that does Aragon, and they make Super Baller 2-channel equipment on that side. And I've got this in my theater, and I've had my theater torn apart for going on 2 months now. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. And I ripped out the sofa. Sofa was gone. Ripped out the Atmos speakers. Atmos was gone. Took down the screen's out of there. And I got five new speakers. Stark Sound IWH3s. So these are the smaller in walls, and I've got a bunch of videos coming up showing these speakers and what I did with them. So I replaced all of my Atmos. I removed my center channel, which was stand mounted under the screen, install that in the wall. I actually put together another screen so I can do some AB with that. Now I haven't finished doing the AB yet, but that'll be a video that's coming out, and it's going to compare woven AT screen to a micro perf AT screen, and I'll give you my opinions there on the difference. But I was able to get my screen back up, all the speakers installed, and at approximately the same time over this period, I installed an Act 4, and this thing is a killer processor. It sounds so good. Now, I had them used in there before, which is the 16-channel version, and this is the 20-channel version, and they're very, very similar. The Act 4 actually gives you a little bit more features than the Muse does, but it doesn't. It's not like big features like, oh, this one can do Dolby Atmos, but this one can't. It's not like that. It's like just more channels. There's a volume button on the front, which is strangely important at sometimes. But it's really just expanded capacity, so you can deal with larger venues than the Muse can. Got that installed, and man, it sounds great. But I also installed a Kaleidoscape for the first time, and that thing has blown me away. I installed a Zapiti file player for the first time, and I'm lucky enough to have my hands on their Pro Ace Edition, so the Audiocom Cinema Edition, which is their upgrade version. And in the video I'm making about that, I'm going to show you what happens when they take the base model, and then Audiocom does all the modifications to that to upgrade it. So they upgrade the clock and add another data card with a whole bunch of crap in there. So it's super upgraded. And that thing I've been watching all my files off of. Now I've got an NVIDIA Shield in there, and man, it's being kicked to the curb, other than for streaming. Now that is still my streaming tool of choice, but I've got my 4 favorite finally sources in my theater. So Panasonic Blu-ray player, the Zapiti file player, the Kaleidoscape for playing movies now that's out of the Kaleidoscape ecosystem. And then the last one is the NVIDIA Shield, which I use pretty much just for streaming now. I used to use that for Plex, but I gave up on Plex. I don't know. It's just too painful for me. Eventually, I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I'm very happy to have Zapiti play those files. And Zapiti is going to come out with a new version that does support Dolby Vision for all you Dolby Vision folks out there, which is, I think, the #1 complaint against the player right now. But that will be coming pretty soon. Kevin S., what is up? Mr. Sorkin. Okay, I can't give away his secrets. And if you don't know Kevin is one of the owners and runners of GSG Audio. But they are doing some stuff over there that makes me weep in joy. I saw something today that made me feel bad about some of the stuff I have in my room because it doesn't look nearly as good as the stuff that they've got coming. Man, I'm just telling you guys, if you like subwoofers, and if you especially like subwoofers that bring the performance, but also bring the good looks, you got to talk to Kevin and just beg him to tell you something about what's going on. Cause I can't tell you, I can't tell you, but he can. And I strongly recommend that you reach out and find out what's going on there, because I'm super excited about that. Oh, super excited. Let's see what else we got. Wish we all could afford Acurus. I agree. It would be cool if Acurus came out with if they took the Muse and they turned it to like a 8-channel version, and kind of chopped it in half, and then cut the price down by like a third or something. If they could get like an 8-channel or a 7-channel receiver, with sub out, of course, and price that at like the $2,000 mark, man, would that not be a mass market winner? And they have their proprietary, in air quotes. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know how good it is or how bad it is or anything about it. I hear that it is freaking awesome, but I haven't seen it yet. Their Aspect, ASPEQT. So this is the direct competitor for Dirac or Odyssey or any of those. So that technology exists now. So they are, kind of feature parity with everybody else out there, and they go to toe with the biggest folks. And when I think Acurus, I'm thinking, Storm and Trinov and Acurus. Those are like the three that kind of, sit up there at the top for me. So they're definitely playing in that arena. And the sound that you get is just, top notch. And what I also love is they don't dork around with the video. It's all pass through. So they're not trying to grab the video and inject like volume meters and all this other crap in there. It's what comes through goes through. So they support everything. If you got 8K content, I believe it'll pass the 8K. It does all the Dolby, everything, the whole deal, right? It's really, really cool. So if they could or would come out with their 7-channel model, priced at around $2,000, because I think their 16 channels $5,500. So maybe they would price it at $3,000. I think that's a winner. I mean, I could, yeah. So I agree. That would fill a pretty big niche in the market for them. Now I don't know if they want to play in that levels, and far be it for me to try and tell people how to run their business, although I probably do it all the time, so I apologize, but it is what it is. But I think that would just be a killer product for them and open up a whole market segment that that they, I don't know, that they haven't played with. So I think they're doing mainly channel sales through dealers and distribution. There's nothing direct. But man, that would be more mass market. And if they can keep the profit margins up, I don't see why not. I don't know. It just sounds so good. Matt, probably that's not what I was just saying. It might not be cost effective. But sometimes there are market strategies out there that drive companies to actively not go after the mass consumer market, but be a little more, I don't know what the right word is, not reserved, but target a higher end niche and a more specific feature set than what you find in like your Best Buy big box store kind of stuff. So that might be part of it. I don't know, but they've got the technology, and it doesn't seem like it would be that hard to tool that box down. And I mean, just have it be like the Muse, but just have the guts for 8 channels or 7 channels. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, dude, take Kevin up on that, Piranha, because it's really good. All right, Dylan, Mr. Knight. Can we call you Knight Rider? I don't know. Anybody know the Knight Rider song? I can't remember anymore. Oh, I used to be able to remember the tune, but he wants to know what the Chinese side is doing. The Chinese side of what? I don't know. Tone Winner. They're dropping okay, this is stuff that I don't know about. So this is new news to me. So Dylan, thanks for bringing this up. If you can send me some links or something via email or whatnot, that would be really cool. Giles at hometheaterfanatics.com. Maybe he is the Dark Knight. But Tone Winner's dropping a sub $1,000 16-channel receiver. That, dude, I would buy that just to make a review about it. AA says, how many channels is your home theater, Giles? So I'm running 9 bed channels, 4 Atmos channels, and people call me crazy for doing that because the room's only like 15 by 15, so it's pretty full. And then right now I've got 3 subwoofers in there. Of course, the .1 channel is the .1 channel, but I got 3 subs, and I'm going to change that probably to 6 subwoofers. So I have 3 across the back and then 3 under the screen. I've got 2 coming in. I'm actually getting, I bought 2 12-inch subs. I know you guys are like, what, 12s? But Stark Sound is blowing out some of their B stock, and they have a discontinued model that's called the Sub 36, and it's got 2 12s and a passive radiator. So it's a base reflex design. So I picked up 2 of those on the cheap or on the less than expensive side. There's some more that's up on their site that's available now, and I'm going to put 2 of those in the front under my screen. Now they might not live there forever. Those might eventually be kicked down to my kids for their systems in their bedrooms. But it was a great buy. And dude, for 2 12s, I mean, adding 4 12s in the room, that's kind of cool. And then I'm going to pick up another 18 of some kind that'll likely be sealed to put under the screen, because I just can't really fit a ported box under there unless it was something like short, narrow, but really, really wide with ports on the side. That would be really cool if I could find something like that. But I'm not going to cut one of those out myself and build it. And I don't know of any kits out there that has like a 20-inch total height, but it's wide and has like a 18 in the middle. That would be for me the killer product, because I always need something that's short just because of my room and the screen, the way it works out. You know what, Hi-Fi Haven, Tenant is absolutely ridiculous. The bass mix on that, super hot. I mean, very, 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 very strong. And I had to turn it down. I was blowing myself out too. My wife and kids were like, "Dad, what are you doing? Oh my God." It was pretty tough. Mad Prawn, no 21-inch situation in the basement. So I've got two 21s down there, but I don't actually have any in the theater at this moment. So the spot where I was running the 21 at, I moved the 21 out and I put a AV stand in there so that I can do 2-channel content in my theater room. So I wanted to have a separate 2-channel environment to do reviews and tests and that kind of stuff from a 2-channel point of view. So I didn't want to have any of the home theater in the mix. So I took that out, put a stand in. I've got a complete system there. Now I still need a lot of upgrade parts for it, especially on the amplification side. But I'm working it out. It's pretty nice. I've got a Shit Freya Plus preamp. I'm running just a Raspberry Pi streamer, but I'm thinking about doing a Node 2i. I might pick one of those up because they're, $500 or $600, so I can swing that. Although I was looking at the NAD stuff, and they use the Blue OS, and NAD and Blue Sound. It's all kind of, I think, one big management team behind those guys. But that stuff's a lot more expensive, and I don't know if I can swing that at the moment. But then from an amplification point of view, I've just got an old Crown XLS 1502, and it's a very competent amp. It's great. But, some people kind of turn their nose up at it a little bit. So, I want to get something a little more audiophile-ish, I guess. I don't know. But or at least something without mounting ears, because that's definitely meant to put into a rack and not really on a 2-channel stand. So I want to find some kind of amplification that's a little more 2-channelish. What I would really love to do is get like 2 massive mono blocks and then put out under the screen in between the 2 speakers and put them on little stands, the little floor down things or whatever, pedestals, and do 2 mono blocks. That would be freaking awesome. You hear me, Accurus? I know you guys have Iridium. I know what you got. You get the 2 in the mirrored image, put them out there, monoblocks. Oh, dude. If you guys haven't checked out the Iridium, you should check them out. They're pretty baller, but they cost like $87 billion. So it's out of my price range. All right. So AA says all the speakers are behind an AT screen. Thanks, man. The AT screen, when I got my center channel off that stand and up behind the screen, huge difference. I mean, right now with all the changes that I've just made, and I just got this stuff put back together, I'm just starting to demo content on it. It's so good. I didn't realize how much the Atmos speakers I had at the time were holding me back, and they're great speakers and they're fine, but they're like $40 brand new, and they can do what they can do, and they're okay. But man, they don't compare to these IWH3s from Start, because those are baller. I mean, they got like 2 6.5s, a 4, and a tweeter, and you should see the crossover on the back of this thing. Holy smokes. You'll see it all in the videos. They're being processed now, and I got to get the editing done, but they'll be coming out in the coming weeks, and I think you guys will like it. And I put some speaker pictures up on Instagram, so if you want to see what those look like, you can go check that out. But it made a humongous difference. Let's see. So Tone Winner, I got to check this out, dude. Dylan, post up some links for folks if you happen to know what's going on. I got to figure out what this Tone Winner thing is. That sounds awesome. Joey says, Pacific Rim is still struggling with product delivery due to COVID. I agree. Yep. Still lots of unit delays for the foreseeable future. AKM fire. I'm not placing AKM. So apparently some production facility had a fire causing delays. I wonder if that's similar to like the hard drive factory of Western Digital or Seagate, or who it was in Thailand, like 3, 4, 5 years ago, that really messed up hard drive deliveries for a long time. I'll have to check that out. I haven't heard of the fire yet. Dylan says he dropped the email. Thanks, man. So they build the Emotiva AVRs. Right on. Okay. Right on. See, I love to come up on this stuff that I'm completely unfamiliar with, because this is the kind of stuff that I like to know about. because I do believe that the era of the 16 channel processor is upon us now, and prices are going to continue to be driven down on those over time, especially with stuff like this that you're talking about. And then also, didn't Monoprice come out with one that's like a $2,000 unit or something like that? So yeah, that's cool. See, Joey is reading my mind. Aragon Iridium. That is the freaking. You guys have to check it out. So it's like the normal rectangular box, but it's got like this notch in it that runs all the way back. And then I believe they produce two different units that are mirror imaged of each other. So if you do the two mono blocks, like on the floor on the stands, oh man, that makes you feel like you're an audiophile, even if you're not. I don't know. Yeah, MP, that's dialing in for 2021. You and me right there together doing the same thing. Okay, so it's a big DAC manufacturing plant that burned down. Oh, okay. That could throw a wrench into a lot of stuff. Huh. Though they're the Monoprice OEM as well. So, it's really interesting when, companies that do a lot of OEM work, when they decide to come out and just present the product themselves, that's, that could be a sea change. I wonder if there are contractual limitations on if they can do that or not. I don't know. But that's cool. Yeah, I'll check out Tone Winner, and if it really is a tone winner, and we'll see what happens. All right. So let's talk a little bit about projects, and I've mentioned most of this stuff before. Well, some of it today, but one new project. I'm trying to find my list. Yeah, here's my video list of stuff to do. I've got the Kraken built, and I was just going to do like a Kraken video, but instead of that, I'm going to do a video where I take the Kraken. So this is like an REW measurement video. So I do the Kraken, which is a 21-inch driver in a GSG full Marty enclosure, the Devastator, running the 21-inch Eminence Neo driver in the Devastator enclosure from GSG Audio, an 18-inch GSG Marty Cube using the Ultimax UM1822. So I'll measure those three, plus just as a baseline so people can understand the difference, the SVS SB2000 Pro, which I think is a really great subwoofer. I mean, it's small and it doesn't dig as deep as other stuff, and it's not as loud, but it's super tiny, and in the right application, I think it's super awesome. So that's 4. The next will be the 15-inch Martin Logan. I can't remember the name. The something 1600. So that guy will be in there, and then the last one will be the Velodyne Digital Drive Plus 18, which is a freaking beast of a subwoofer. Now, I'd also love to have a shoe sub. I'd love to have a JTR in there. I'd love to have. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but those are the 6 that I happen to have right now in the basement that I can do the measurements with, so that I can really kind of show a direct comparison. Now, for the 3 passive subs, the GSG subs, I'll use I'd probably channel off my FP10000Q, just a single channel there, so that you can see at the same volume level with the same gain on the amplifier what the 3 different subs look like when you measure them without any DSP or EQ, just as a straight comparison. And then for the powered subs, I'll probably just put them in the 50% volume mark on their amps, and then just run the curves there. And this isn't going to show you what the maximum output is on any of these. As you know, the 21s are probably win that hands down, right? They're loud, right? They're designed to do that. The Eminence likely will be the loudest of them all, because it's got the PA style spider surround, and it's just designed to put out a lot of output. But I really want to show what the curves look like of them all, and then I'll probably do a little bit of subjective point of view talk of what I like and what I don't like. But I think everybody needs to understand that I have very specific likes and dislikes in subwoofers that don't necessarily match up with everyone else, and I'll put that all out there. But I like the subs that have that super deep sound. It sounds like subterranean, like and I'm not so much of a mid bass aficionado as other people are. I like my mid bass, but man, I want that low end. Super, super important. Kraken, he says. Devastator, he says. 18-inch Velodyne, he says. Yeah, so I've got a digital drive 18, our digital drive plus 18-inch. And this is an older model from Velodyne. And Velodyne had just released a new set of subwoofers. If you guys haven't heard, they're like called Deep Blue or something. I think Deep Blue is actually the IBM computer, but something blue, or maybe it is Deep Blue. I can't remember. But they're brand new, and I don't know if there are any samples out there for anybody yet. But I know it was announced on their web page or maybe their Instagram. I saw it just the other day, which is super exciting because they got bought by a company in Germany. So Mansour Mamagani, he picked him up, and he's a real cool guy. He runs a big dealership distributor company in Germany, and I don't know if this is his first manufacturer that he's purchased or owns. He might own some other stuff that I'm just not aware of. But they picked up Velodyne, and they are starting to innovate there again. And I hear that they're going to bring out a monster subwoofer at some time in the indistinct future. I was going to say not too distant future, but I don't really know what the time frame is. It's going to be awesome when this thing comes out. It's a throwback to a monster sub they used to do in yesteryear. So keep your eyes open for that one. But so that's going to be a fun video there. I think a lot of people like to see those comparisons. I've got the Atmos install video that's always possible. People like to see how to do those installs, and I go through the whole, cutting holes, and I use a laser level and all this kind of stuff to line everything up and do that. And dude, what I like to show is that if I can do this stuff, anybody can do this stuff, because I am not handy at all. I'm like, it's like I don't have thumbs sometimes when I try and hold the tools. So if I can do it, you can do it. I've got the center channel install video, and that's all done. It's finishing editing now, and that made a huge difference. Gosh, what else? New seating in the theater, and I'm going to try and do a little bit of comedy in this one, because seating videos are kind of dry and not that terribly interesting, because hey, look, I put together a sofa, and hey, look, I'm sitting in the sofa, and it's way better to sit in the sofa than to not sit in the sofa, right? So those are kind of dry when I watch them, but I'm really going to go into the pros and cons of a love seat style theater sofa, meaning no armrest, versus having some armrests, and why you might want to consider one versus the other. And I'm hoping that you guys find that a little interesting. So I'm going to be working on that. Act 4 videos coming soon. Acura's 2002 video coming soon. Kaleidoscape video coming soon. The Zapedi video, working on that one, coming soon. A couple of speakers that I fell in love with, the Alta Audio Alex. These things are so good. They are super, super duper expensive at 10 grand a pair. And they're a two-way system. So it's not even like you're getting a whole bunch of drivers in there. It's two drivers. I think it's a 9-inch and then this really baller 5-inch ribbon tweeter. It's crazy good. I've been listening to these in my living room for a while now, and I absolutely adore them. But a video is coming on those, and I have to ship those back here pretty soon. So that one will be coming pretty fast. I'm really excited about that. I've got a HiFi Rose streamer that I'm working on now. And this is a Korean product. And for that product, it took me a minute to really get into it, because it's not like plug and play and just works super awesome right out of the box. It took some configuration, and this might be something better that a dealer would install maybe, or you need to be an enthusiast to really get it going. But once I got that thing going, man, so it streams music, but it also, so it's purely 2-channel, but it also does video. So, if you're rolling like a 2.0 or 2.1 system with a screen, this thing's cool, because you can point it to your network and you can play all your files that you got out there. You can plug a CD player into it. You can rip with it and do all kinds of stuff. So it's really powerful. You just kind of got to get over the hump of installation, because it's not super intuitive. And, since I think the localization of the English for all the menus needs a little bit of work as well. So some of it can be a little bit confusing, but I've really enjoyed it. It's like the sound quality though is, super, super high end. All right. We got Mahawagam. Are you Thai? Is that a Thai name? I can't tell. Anyway, welcome to the show. First time speaker buyer here. we love first-time speaker buyers because we all have an opinion of what's good or bad. Looking for a bedroom, small office setup for movies and music. Budget is $700. And by the way, he loves the way I explain things on my channel. I appreciate that. Thanks. I try to make the content consumable and interesting for everybody. But $700. Now, is that just the speakers? Because if it's just the speakers, you can get a lot of speaker for $700. Mike and I just did a bookshelf speaker battle, and he had a pair of Dolly Oberons, and those things I think are coming right around that price point, and they were amazing. I mean, I doubted Mike. I was all like, oh, they're not going to sound that good. They can't sound that good. And he's like, dude, they're going to blow you away. Dude, they're going to blow you away. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. And you know what? Blown away. Those things were outstanding. I think they might be at the $799 price point. But I if you're looking for speakers and you have a $700 budget, I would likely look at stand mounts and get the best stand mount speakers that you can get your hands on, and then build from there. You know, you'll need a AVR, something that can do HDMI since you're going to do movies more than likely. But dude, if you just want to stick with a 2.1 system, you could take like those Oberons and pair them with like a small sealed sub like that SVS SB2000, and that would, dude, it'll sound so good, right? And that's a really good price point. And you know, you could like you could even find like an integrated amplifier that's got like HDMI in, and you could you know, use like eARC off a television or something, and if you're going to stream with that, go into an integrated and then have a really good audiophile style setup, and you could add in all your other sources and stuff, and dude, that would be freaking baller. You could probably use, if Joey's still here, I forget what there's a Acurus integrated amplifier that'll do all that stuff. I think it's got HDMI. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's got the cool touch screen on the front and the whole deal. It looks like the Muse kind of. So Joey, if you're out there, call that out. I can't remember what the name of that one is. I've not seen it in person yet, but that might be good stuff. But that's what I would say to look at from that point of view. Triple D, the Triple D says, anyone at the point where 418-inch Martys aren't enough, dude. That's like saying, I keep smoking this crack and it's just not hitting me like it used to. He's looking to buy one of those 20,000K Sandway or Basin clones. So I'm running the 10,000K or the FP 10,000Q. And that's, 2,500 by 4, kind of mostly. I don't think really my wall outlet lets it put out that much power, but it's a lot of juice. And mine's the Symbian version. And dude, it's awesome. Now, I mean, these clones are clones, and a lot of people take issue with that because they're clones. But dude, they're as good as the lab group and stuff. They are absolutely superb amplifiers. So I would say, if you're looking to do that, do it. I mean, you might want to go with two. Okay, so the problem with the 20,000 and the 22,000, not that it's a problem, is you really, really need a 30 amp 220 or 240 volt circuit to power this thing. Don't try not to do that. And then also, those units sound like a small hovercraft or helicopter in your room because they've got 4 fans inside and then a row of 6 or 8 fans across the back. And there's no fan mod in the world that's going to make those things quiet. So you have to consider that they are going to be loud as a yeah, the Aries. Thank you, Joey. The Aries, that thing. Yeah. I want to see that one day. But yeah, Danny, I would say that a 20,000 or a 22,000 could power 818s easy. And I like the way you're sticking with 18s because that's my driver size of choice. I think 24s might also give me the kind of sound I'm looking for, but I haven't necessarily found a 21 that sounds exactly the way I want it to yet. They all sound really PA-ish to me. And just as a sneak peek, the Kraken sounds pretty PA-ish to me as well, even though there's an actual PA version of the Kraken that's got the spider surround and everything. Even this one with the half round surround is really a mid-bass loud monster. And that's what I really think it was designed for. The FS at 30 hertz or whatever, it's just too high. It's just too much. Okay, let's go. Mad Piranha says his 2.1 was 700. Axum Audio M60s and a new Pioneer 2-channel amp with HDMI. That's cool. You'll have to let me know what that Pioneer is. And I don't know that I've heard Axum Audio before, so I'll have to look them up. I can't place them in my head. Maybe I saw them at a show. I don't know. Maybe. That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, $700 is plenty of scratch to get into some really good sound. Um, Mr. Sullivan says he'd like to get a couple of those SB2000 Pros. Dude, if you go 2-channel in your living room and you get two of the SB2000 Pros, you can run those as stereo subwoofers in a 2-channel environment. And let me tell you what, that gives you the approximation of true full range speakers in a 2-channel room. And that is super cool. I want to do that eventually in my living room. I just got to come up with 2 subs to do that with. Dude, maybe I could use those 2 starts that I'm buying to do it. That might be a little overkill because they got 2 active 12s in each one for my living room. But they are matched, and I've not had 2 matched small form factor subs. I really wanted to do it with 2 SB2000s from SVS, but I don't want to buy another one. The one I have now is just on loan, so I got to send it back. That's not a long-term thing. Step up from iNuke. Yeah, it's a step up from the iNuke for sure. Just in power for headroom. I don't know. I don't have any specs on, distortion or anything like that. And I was just talking to a guy today about this very same thing, iNuke versus the Symbian or the Sandways. I would say if you can get the Symbian or the Sandway, do it. I mean, they're lab grouping clones. They are awesome. If you open the thing up, there are capacitors out the wazoo in there. There is a lot of burst power available that the iNuke is not going to be able to come close to, just not even close. And the iNukes don't push the stuff out all the way to capacity. So the Symbians will be a lot better to getting you to the maximum output of what you could expect from your equipment. So I think it's a great way to go. The risk, though, is that, dude, there's nowhere to get them fixed in the United States. And, you kind of just buy it and hope, and, they'll help you, but, they're not going to do the whole, send it back and we'll fix it and we'll send it back to you because you've exhausted the expense of the amp just in shipping at that point. So that's always the kicker there. So yes, I did MP do a Symbian fan mod, but I did mine on the FP10000Q, and the 10000Q does not have the row of 8 fans or 6 fans across the back. It's just got the 4 in the middle. And that was straightforward. That was easy. You just take off the top, take out 8 screws, flip it over, take off the bottom, pull the fans out, and they're soldered onto the PCB. And I just cut the wires all the way at the fan side, took the new fan, and I got some old telephone wire crimp connectors. It's the little round thing, and you shove your 2 wires in it and you squish it, and it's actually got the goo inside to seal it from moisture and stuff. I think they're designed for outside use, but it's really easy just to do that. And you just shove them in and clip, and you don't have to crimp and do, it's super easy to deal with. So I just did that and replaced the 4 fans, did the wiring on the bottom, put the bottom back on, flipped it over, pulled them up, put the 4 screws in, or 8 screws rather, good to go. It took me like, once I figured out how to do everything, because my first time, I was trying to figure out where do the screws go? What do I have to take out? You could probably do the fan mod in 30 minutes, easy. I don't have a video for that because I don't know that there's going to be more than 5 people who want to see that video, but I totally did that fan mod. And after doing that fan mod, I run the Symbian in my theater. Now it's inside of a cabinet, so 42U cabinet, but I can't hear it. So that's good. Now with with the door open and it running, I can still hear it a little bit, but before I think it would hover the amount of air that it pushes through with the fans. So it was not realistic to run that amplifier in a theater without doing the fan mod. You need to put it in another room or something. Game Genie. I'll call you Game Genie. He's upgrading to a 3700 from Denon. Should I look to get Atmos speakers first just to get height audio, or should I maybe get better subs? Oh man, go subs. Not everything needs Atmos. Everything needs good subs. Do the subs. I think that's the right way to go. I would do upgrades on subs and then do Atmos. Now, but let me tell you, Atmos, it changes the game. It's not hype. It's the real deal. It's super cool. All right, Herman, what is up? So this is a guy I'm going to go visit is it Shanghai? Dude, I never remember. I think it's Shanghai. But he's building a baller room in his new home, and it's a straight up full build beginning to end. So it's really exciting to watch him go along and select his equipment and do all this stuff. I'm really excited to watch it. And he has picked out some really good gear that he's putting in. So I can't wait to see this thing. And once travel is opened up and the world's back to normal, I'm definitely heading that way. He says, what DSP are you using now for your subwoofer? So I am still using a mini DSP 2x4 HD. So coming out of the back of the Acurus Act 4, I take and convert the XLR subwoofer output to RCA because the freaking 2x4 HD doesn't take XLR. How lame is that? And I'll tell you how lame it is. It's freaking lame. And so I run that from my AVR or processors, not AVR, from the processor into the 2x4 HD, and then the 2x4 HD has 4 outputs, and then that runs to either amplifiers or the subs if they're powered or whatnot. And it does everything. It does EQ, crossover, time alignment, and you can do EQ on the front end and on the back end. You can do level adjustment on the front and back end. So it does everything. It's really cool. Now you are limited to just 4 outputs. So if you want to do more than 4 subs and you want to have each one independently controlled, then you need to get 2 of these and then take the 2 subwoofers out of your processor and run to each one, or you can use this with your AVR. But I strongly suggest, some kind of tool like this, because it really does make a difference being able to deal with those subs. Now, when Aspect comes out and it can automatically tune everything, that's going to be a different kind of beast. I'm going to have to figure that one out because on the Act 4, if I'm running 4 subs, I think I have to look. I can't remember. You might be able to do your 9 bed channels plus your 4 Atmos. That would be 13 plus 4 discrete subwoofer channels. I don't know if you can do 4 discrete subwoofer channels with all of the EQ and everything out of the Act 4. Joey, if you're around, let us know. I can't remember if it does that or not. I need to work through that. But I've been using the mini DSP because I need all that functionality, and it's a little bit easier for me to use that. So I've been doing that way. Double A says better subs. Yeah, I agree with that, dude. That's absolutely the right way to go. I don't know that I necessarily agree 100% with that. I think there's a ton of content, especially if you're watching the newer stuff. Most new things, any big movie is going to have Atmos, and I think it's very, very, very much worth it to go that way. So do that if you can. And we are down to 8:50, and I think this might be the last question, and then I'm going to talk about some stuff that I'm going to be watching for the week, and I think that's going to be it. But before we go, I am looking to line up a lot of guests to come on the show because it's kind of hard to carry this thing solo by myself. So I need somebody on here every week. So I am very serious. For any of you guys watching, if you want to come on, I'm more than happy to have you on and we can talk about whatever topics that you're interested in. Joey, I would love to get you on the show one of these days to chat about everything. I'm not sure how long Mike will go out, but it seems like it'll be a little while. But for anybody that's interested in live streaming and podcasting and that kind of stuff, hit me up because I'm going to be looking for somebody to do this with, because doing it alone is great, but having a partner makes it even better. Okay, Joey says 4 subs, 3 independently, so 2 are mirrored. Okay, that's cool, because I have 2 that will be sitting very close to each other, so it's not a problem to mirror those at all. So I'm hoping down the line to be able to show how you do everything out of that box without having to use an external device. So that'll be pretty good. All right. Yeah. I'll touch base with you later on, Joey, and we'll get that figured out. Thanks, man. Yeah. I'm looking forward to taking a trip over there. There's a lot of companies and spots I want to go check out and see how some of this stuff is made. If people don't know, Shenzhen is it's kind of like the center of the universe for audio. I mean, really, I don't know of any other place on the planet that has so much stuff going on, especially from a production point of view. So I definitely want to stop off over there and like there's a company that, SMSL Topping and all those guys, they produce all their DACs and headphone amps and everything over there. Oh, it's crazy. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right, Mike. Mike is on hiatus for X amount of time that I don't know how long it'll be, but he wants to focus on his not live streamed content, but just pre-recorded content. And he's gonna be focusing on that. And I think he's also got a cool and I don't know if this is going to be weekly or not, but kind of a nerd speak show where he talks about content pretty specifically. So, he's got a buddy, like one of his buddies from way back when he was out in California, and they talk about television shows and movies and stuff like that very specifically, not necessarily in the context of HiFi, but just in a more general context. So I would recommend checking that out because he'll be dropping those, I think, pretty regularly. So that'll be good stuff. Yokohama. Dude, are you talking about in Japan? Heck yeah, that'd be a really nice place to visit as well. All right, now we're down to content. We talked a little bit about streaming and that kind of stuff earlier, but I can't tell you how spectacular The Expanse sounds and how the visuals are. I mean, it's a TV show, but I think it's wasted if you're not watching it in a home theater. That show is so good. And let me just say it one more time. It's so good. And I need to pick up and watch WandaVision. I haven't gotten started on that yet. But I was thinking about, Double A Expanse. It's really good. There's Mike. See, he couldn't stay away. He's so lonely now because he's not on the show. Oh, yeah, dude, you're right. Double A. The Expanse totally deserves surround sound, and I gotta check and see how the Atmos is popping off on that. If there is some or not, I can't recall off the top of my head. But dude, it's so good. So I know I'm like a broken record with this one, but absolutely. And then there's this new movie or television show rather that just came out, and I can't remember the name of it. Maybe you guys can remember. It's new. I think one episode has been out, and it's got the guy, dude. And so this is where I need help at. The sci-fi show that was about the Wild West, the Joss Whedon show, where they were all cowboys and spaceships. The pilot of the ship, that guy's in a new TV show. I can't remember his name. I can't remember that show, and I can't remember the new show. But he's an alien that comes to live on Earth, and he solves murder mysteries or something like that. It's like the craziest premise ever. So I'm really excited to watch that one and see what that looks. Firefly. See, you guys are the best. So Firefly, whatever the actor was who played the pilot in Firefly, he is now in this new show where he plays an alien who looks like a human, and he mixes in, but he's like a murder mystery solver or something, I think. So check that one, Alan. I don't know. Let me Google Alan. Is that him? Heck yeah. Winner, chicken dinner. I don't know how to say his last name. Tudyk. So Alan Tudyk. Yes. So, new TV show. Maybe it's going to show us. Resident Alien. The tagline. He's a human. Probably. He couldn't possibly be an alien. That would be crazy, right? See, Alan Tudyk. It's Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel. Wednesdays at 10/9 Central on Sci-Fi. Vanderspiegel. That is quite the name. So that's cool. Herman, stick with it. The Expanse, the first couple of seasons are good, but it gets so much better as it goes along. You got to stick with it. All right, folks. I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you like and subscribe. I am simulcasting this both on Home Theater Fanatics and HiFi Fanatics. I'm also live on Twitch today as well, and it probably has 0 viewers from Twitch. I'm going to look and tell you right now. We've got one person from Twitch on HiFi Fanatics. We got 2 people from Home Theater Fanatics on Facebook, 1 person from JDM World on Twitch, no people from Home Theater Fanatics on Facebook, 7 from HiFi Fanatics on YouTube, and 11 from Home Theater Fanatics on YouTube. So wherever you're at, wherever you're watching, thank you so much. for joining us tonight. And like I said, I am looking for people to come on the show and share your story, whether you're a manufacturer, you're a dealer, or you're just a fan like me, or maybe even an influencer. I don't count you guys out. I mean, you're humans too, right? I'm going to set this up, and one or two guests a week I think would be awesome. So, tell your friends, tell your loved ones, and join us next week. As always, thank you so much for joining us. See, look at it, joining me tonight, and the Home Theater Fanatics, HiFi Fanatics family. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.